Adeline's hand trembled as she clutched the faded photograph, the one she'd hidden in her sock drawer for years, showing a man with skin like hers, smiling weakly beside a hospital bed. In that instant, as her adoptive mother burst into the room screaming about betrayal, Adeline knew her world was crumbling. The secret call from her biological father's doctor had just exposed everything. But it was the choice she made next, the one that would haunt her forever, that turned her quiet suburban life into a national scandal. Adeline Thompson had always felt like an outsider in her own home, even before she understood why. Adopted at age 5 by the affluent white couple, Mark and Susan Thompson, in the leafy suburbs of Seattle, Washington, she grew up surrounded by privilege that never quite fit her skin. The Thompsons were the picture of progressive ideals, volunteering at food banks, donating to civil rights causes. But Adeline's dark complexion drew stares at family gatherings, whispers from neighbors about where she really came from. Inside, she wrestled with a gnawing emptiness, questioning if their love was genuine or just a performance. Why did Susan always straighten her hair before school photos? Why did Mark tense up when she asked about her birth parents? These thoughts swirled in her mind like a storm she couldn't escape, eroding her sense of belonging day by day. School was her refuge, a place where she could blend into the crowd at Lincoln High. That's where she met Riley Carter. During junior year in AP English, Riley was everything Adeline wasn't. Confident, outspoken, with freckles dotting her pale skin and a laugh that cut through the noise. They bonded over dissecting Shakespeare's tragedies, Riley's sharp insights mirroring Adeline's hidden turmoil. One afternoon as they studied in the library, Riley's hand brushed hers, and Adeline felt a spark she'd never known. Panic surged through her. Was this what she'd been denying? The late-night searches on her phone about "Am I gay?" suddenly made sense, but so did the fear. What would the Thompsons say? They attended a liberal church, sure, but Adeline had overheard Susan's hushed conversations about traditional values. The thought of disappointing them twisted her gut, yet ignoring her feelings for Riley felt like suffocating. Their first real conversation outside class happened at a school rally against racial injustice. Adeline stood on the fringes, her sign reading "Black Lives Matter," feeling heavy in her hands. Riley approached, her eyes fierce. "You're brave for being here," she said. "Most kids just post online and call it activism." Adeline shrugged, but inside she was unraveling. Brave? She felt like a fraud, living in a white family while her own heritage was a mystery. As they talked, Riley shared her own story, coming out to her single mom at 14, the fights, the acceptance. "It hurts at first," Riley admitted, "but hiding hurts more." Adeline's heart raced. For the first time, someone saw her, really saw her. That night, alone in her room, she replayed Riley's words, her mind a battlefield of doubt and desire. Could she risk everything for this? Weeks turned into secret meetings, coffee shops, park benches, stolen moments where their hands intertwined under tables. Riley pushed Adeline to confront her feelings. "You're not just their adopted daughter," she said one evening as they sat by Lake Washington, the water lapping softly. "You're you. And I like you." The kiss that followed was tentative, electric, awakening parts of Adeline she'd buried deep. But guilt shadowed her joy. At home, Mark and Susan noticed her distractions, her late nights. "Is everything okay, sweetie?" Susan asked over dinner, her voice laced with concern that felt probing. Adeline nodded, forcing a smile, but inside she screamed, "How can I tell you I'm falling for a girl when you barely acknowledge I'm black?" The deception ate at her, each lie a crack in her facade. Then came the call that changed everything. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Adeline was scrolling through texts from Riley when her phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Is this Adeline?" the voice asked, formal and grave. It was a social worker from Chicago, where her biological father, Jamal Harris, lay in a hospital bed, ravaged by kidney failure. "He wants to see you," the woman said. "He's not doing well." Adeline's world tilted. She'd known about Jamal vaguely, abandoned her mother young, struggled with addiction, but this? Her mind raced. Why now? What did he want from her? Hanging up, she collapsed onto her bed, tears streaming. Riley was the first she told, meeting her in a frantic hug outside school. "You have to go," Riley urged. "This is your blood." But Adeline hesitated, torn between loyalty to the Thompsons and a pull toward her roots. That night, as she stared at the ceiling, decisions loomed like shadows. Ignore it and stay safe, or dive into the unknown and risk unraveling her life. The internal conflict intensified. Adeline imagined confronting Mark and Susan, their faces paling at the mention of Jamal. They'd paid for her private tutors, her college fund. Did she owe them silence? Yet, Jamal's illness gnawed at her conscience. She researched dialysis costs online, the numbers staggering. Hundreds of thousands without insurance. How could she help? She had nothing of her own. Riley's support was unwavering, but even she couldn't ease the storm inside Adeline. What if they disown me? Adeline whispered during a late-night call. For being gay, for wanting to know my dad. Riley paused. Then they're not family. Those words lingered, fueling Adeline's resolve. She began planning in secret, emailing the social worker for more details. Jamal needed a transplant, but donors were scarce, and time was running out. Adeline's mind spun with possibilities. Fundraisers, please, but deep down, she knew it wouldn't be enough. The weight of her dual identities pressed harder. Black in a white world, lesbian in a straight one. Each day, the tension built, her decisions teetering on the edge of catastrophe. By the end of the month, Adeline had made her first move. She skipped school to video call Jamal from a library computer. His face appeared gaunt, eyes hollow but kind. "Baby girl," he rasped. "I messed up bad, but I never stopped thinking about you." Tears choked her. This man, her father, was dying and she was his only hope. But hope for what? Forgiveness? Money? The call ended with promises to talk again. But Adeline felt the noose tightening. Back home, Susan found her unusually quiet. "Talk to me, Adeline," she pressed. Adeline deflected, but the lie burned. That night, holding Riley's hand in the dark of her car, she confessed her plan. She'd tell the Thompsons about Jamal, beg for help. Riley nodded, but worry creased her brow. Be ready for the fallout. Adeline wasn't, but she had no choice. The storm was coming, and she was walking straight into it. Adeline's confession hit the Thompson dinner table like a grenade. "I have a biological father," she blurted, fork clattering against her plate. "And he's dying. I need to help him." Mark's face drained of color, Susan's eyes widening in shock as the room filled with a silence thicker than fog. The first crack in their perfect family facade. The argument erupted immediately. Mark slammed his napkin down. "After everything we've done for you? We are your family." His voice boomed, echoing Adeline's deepest fears. Susan, tears welling, reached for her hand. "We love you, but this man abandoned you. Why now?" Adeline's chest tightened. She hadn't mentioned her sexuality yet, but this revelation alone exposed the fragility of their bond. Inside, she battled waves of guilt and defiance. "They raised me, but he's my blood. Am I betraying them by caring?" Riley's text buzzed in her pocket. "You got this." But strength felt fleeting. The next days blurred into confrontations. Mark researched Jamal online, uncovering his criminal record, petty theft, drug charges. "He's a con artist," he declared, shoving printouts at Adeline. "He'll drag you down." Adeline recoiled, but doubt crept in. Was Jamal using her? Yet his voice on the phone haunted her, weak and pleading. Susan tried mediation, suggesting therapy, but her words rang hollow. "We're not racist," she insisted. "We chose you." Adeline bit back a retort. "Chose me to fit your narrative?" The hypocrisy stung, fueling her isolation. At school, Riley became her anchor, their relationship deepening amid the chaos. "They're scared of losing you," Riley said during a hushed lunch. Adeline nodded, but inside she questioned. Or scared of the truth? Pressure mounted from all sides. Neighbors whispered about that adopted girl causing trouble, their stares piercing like knives. Adeline's mind raced with what-ifs. What if helping Jamal meant losing everything? She confided in Riley about her fears, their conversations turning raw. "I feel like I'm splitting in two," Adeline admitted one night, parked in Riley's driveway. Riley pulled her close. "You're whole with me." The intimacy of that moment, their foreheads touching, solidified Adeline's feelings, but also her dread of exposure. If the Thompsons reacted this badly to Jamal, what about Riley? The thought paralyzed her. Jamal's condition worsened. Another call from the social worker urged action. He needs funds for treatment, she said. Adeline's savings were meager, a few hundred from babysitting. Desperation clawed at her. She considered asking the Thompsons directly, but Mark's words echoed. We won't fund a stranger. Inside, Adeline waged war. Loyalty to adopters versus duty to blood. Riley suggested a GoFundMe, but Adeline hesitated. Publicity could out her secrets. What if people judge me for being? You know, she whispered. Riley squeezed her hand. For being us? Screw them. But Adeline couldn't shake the societal weight, the double stigma of race and sexuality in conservative pockets of America. The breaking point came during a family therapy session Susan insisted on. The counselor probed gently, but Mark exploded. She's ungrateful. Adeline's temper flared. Ungrateful? For what? Being your charity case. Tears streamed as she stormed out. Driving straight to Riley. Collapsing in her arms, Adeline sobbed. I can't do this alone. Riley held her, whispering assurances, but Adeline's mind churned. I have to choose. That night, she decided to visit Jamal secretly, booking a flight with her credit card. The deception felt like poison, but necessary. Arriving in Chicago, the hospital smell hit her like a wall, antiseptic masking decay. Jamal lay frail, machines beeping rhythmically. You came, he murmured, eyes lighting up. They talked for hours. His regrets, her adoption, the mother she'd never known, lost to overdose. I want to make it right, he said. Adeline's heart ached. Forgiveness bloomed amid pain. But reality intruded. Bills piled high, no insurance. I need help, baby girl. The plea hung heavy. Back in Seattle, she lied to the Thompsons about a school trip. Guilt gnawed. Am I a liar now? Riley met her at the airport, concern etched on her face. What next? Adeline didn't know, but the seed of a drastic plan took root. Access the family trust fund, meant for her college. It was theft, but for life. The moral quandary tore at her. Right or wrong? Family or blood? Tensions escalated at home. Susan found the flight receipt, confronting Adeline. You're sneaking around? Adeline exploded. You never let me know who I am. The fight revealed cracks. Mark's reluctance to adopt a black child, Susan's overcompensation. Adeline's anger boiled. They've hidden their biases. Riley urged caution. Don't burn bridges yet. But Adeline felt the pull stronger, her decisions veering toward recklessness. By week's end, Adeline hacked Mark's computer. Simple password guesswork, for trust fund details. Horror mixed with resolve. This could save Jamal. But the cost? Prison disownment. Inside, she justified. They owe me for the lies. Riley discovered the plan, horrified. This is crazy, Adeline. Their first real fight ensued. You don't understand, Adeline shot back. He's dying. Riley pleaded. And you'll destroy yourself. The rift hurt, but Adeline pressed on. The drama intensifying her isolation. Adeline's fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart pounding as she transferred the first $1,000 from the family account to Jamal's hospital. The act that would soon unravel secrets buried deeper than she imagined. When Mark discovered the missing funds days later, his roar echoed through the house. Who did this? Adeline's silence was her confession, igniting a firestorm that exposed the family's hidden prejudices. The confrontation was brutal. Mark paced the living room, face red. You stole from us for him? Susan wept, clutching her chest. Adeline stood firm, voice steady despite inner turmoil. He's my father. You never told me the truth. Flashbacks assaulted her. Childhood questions dismissed, photos of her birth mother tucked away. Why the secrecy? Mark's response chilled her. We saved you from that life. The implication, racial, classist, hung unsaid, but Adeline felt it like a slap. Inside rage boiled. Saved me? Or erased me? Riley tried to mediate via text, but Adeline pushed her away, drowning in self-doubt. Was this betrayal justified? The money helped Jamal start treatment, his grateful call warming her briefly. You're an angel, he said. But angels don't steal. She thought, guilt twisting like a knife. Society's judgment loomed. News of adopted kids turning on families fueled her paranoia. At school, rumors spread, classmates stared. Heard about your real dad? One sneered. Adeline's isolation deepened. her mind a whirlwind. Am I a victim or a villain? The Thompsons' reaction worsened. Mark changed passwords, froze accounts. You're cut off, he declared. Susan begged for reconciliation, but her pleas felt manipulative. We love you as our own. Adeline snapped. But I'm not your own. The words wounded them all. Alone in her room, she pondered the ethics. Blood ties versus nurtured bonds. Riley showed up unannounced, forcing a talk. You're spiraling, she said, eyes pleading. Adeline confessed the theft, Riley's shock palpable. You could go to jail. The argument escalated, Riley accusing her of recklessness. Think about us, Adeline retorted. Us? Or just you? Hurt flashed in Riley's eyes, straining their bond. Jamal's health improved slightly, but costs mounted. Another call. Need more for the transplant list. Adeline's desperation peaked. She considered confessing to the Thompsons, begging forgiveness, but pride held her back. Instead, she plotted deeper. Forged documents to access more funds. The moral slide terrified her. Where does it end? Riley distanced herself, their texts curt. I love you, but this scares me. Adeline's heart broke. Was love worth the sacrifice? External pressures amplified. A social media post about ungrateful adoptees went viral, mirroring her story. Comments flooded. Racist tropes, homophobic slurs if her sexuality leaked. Adeline's anxiety soared. What if they find out about Riley? She imagined disownment doubled. At a coffee shop meetup, Riley confronted her. Stop this madness. Adeline wavered, but Jamal's plea echoed. I have to, she whispered. Riley left in tears, the rift widening. Adeline executed the forgery, heart racing as she mimicked Mark's signature on bank forms. Success brought hollow victory. Funds flowed to Chicago. Jamal's joy contrasted her torment. You're saving me. But at what price? The Thompsons hired an investigator, suspicions closing in. Susan cornered her. Tell me it's not you. Adeline lied. The deception corroding her soul. Inside she questioned. Is family worth destroying another? The climax built as Riley returned, ultimatum in hand. Choose me and honesty, or this path alone. Adeline's indecision tore her. Love versus duty. She chose the latter, pushing Riley away. I can't stop now. Riley's departure felt like amputation. Alone, Adeline faced the mirror. Who am I becoming? Mark's discovery came swift. The investigator traced the transfers. The family meeting was explosive. How could you, he thundered. Adeline defended. You hid my past. Revelations poured. Mark's initial opposition to adopting a black child, Susan's push for diversity points. The racism unveiled shattered Adeline. You never saw me, she accused. The room fell silent, truths hanging heavy. Adeline's world imploded when the police knocked on the door. Warrant in hand for her arrest on embezzlement charges. The betrayal that not only saved Jamal but exposed the Thompsons' hypocritical facade to the world. As handcuffs clicked, Susan's sobs filled the air, Mark's glare burning with fury. In that moment, Adeline realized the true cost. Freedom for a father's life. Jail intake was a blur, mugshot, fingerprints, the cold cell echoing her regrets. Inside she replayed decisions. Theft seemed justified then, but now? Riley's absence ached, no visits, no calls. Had she lost her forever? Jamal's treatment continued, funded by her crime, but gratitude felt tainted. You did too much, he messaged via the social worker. Adeline pondered. Too much or not enough? The media frenzy erupted. Headlines screamed. Adopted teen steals to save bio-dad, racial tensions ignite. Reporters dug deep, uncovering the Thompsons' past donations masking biases. Protests formed outside their home. Supporters for Adeline, decrying systemic racism. Detractors labeling her a thief. Adeline's sexuality leaked somehow, adding fuel. Lesbian scandal in suburban family. The double stigma crushed her spirit. In solitary moments, she wrestled ethics. Did ends justify means? Society's verdict loomed, but her own was harsher. Bail hearing brought reunions. Susan posted bond, tearful. We forgive you. But Adeline saw pity, not love. Mark stayed away, his absence speaking volumes. Riley appeared in court, eyes averted. "I can't watch this," she whispered later. Their talk was tense. "You chose him over us," Riley accused. Adeline countered. "Over a lie?" The pain of potential loss stabbed deep. Was their love collateral damage? Home felt like a prison. Neighbors shunned, friends ghosted. Adeline confronted the Thompsons. "Why hide my heritage?" Susan confessed. Fear of losing her to Jamal. Mark admitted prejudice. "I wasn't ready." The admissions validated Adeline's anger, but offered no solace. Inside she grieved. Families built on sand crumble. Jamal recovered slowly, calling daily. "Come live with me," he offered. Temptation pulled, but roots in Seattle. Riley held her. The trial loomed, lawyers debating plea deals. Adeline refused, wanting truth out. "I did it for family," she told her attorney. But which family? Doubt plagued her. Riley reached out tentatively, a park meeting charged with emotion. "I miss you," she said. Adeline confessed everything. The inner battles, the regrets. "I thought I was right." Riley softened. "Maybe you were." Reconciliation sparked, but fragile. Societal backlash intensified. Online trolls attacked. Ungrateful black girl ruins white saviors. Adeline's response? A public statement via lawyer. "Family isn't colorblind, it's honest." The words went viral, sparking debates on adoption, race, sexuality. Inside, empowerment mixed with fear. Had she awakened or destroyed? Jamal's transplant succeeded, his life saved. Gratitude calls came, but Adeline felt hollow. Was it worth it? She asked herself. The price? Fractured relationships, impending sentence. Riley stood by now, their bond tested but stronger. "We'll fight this," she promised. Adeline nodded, but uncertainty lingered. Pre-trial revelations hit. Mark's embezzlement history, hidden to protect image. Hypocrisy exposed, shifting public opinion. Adeline's mind reeled. They accuse me while guilty? The drama peaked, her choices vindicated yet painful. Adeline took the stand, voice steady as she admitted the theft but unleashed the family's secrets. The testimony that not only cleared her name partially but ignited a national reckoning on hidden biases in adoptive homes. As the judge banged the gavel on a reduced sentence, community service, restitution, Adeline stepped out into flashbulbs, forever changed. But the real shock came later. Jamal's full recovery, and Riley's unwavering return. Probation began with mandated therapy, where Adeline unpacked layers. Race, identity, love. "I sacrificed for blood," she told the counselor, "but lost my chosen family." Reflections deepened. Was theft moral if it saved a life? Society debated online, forums buzzing with opinions. At home, reconciliation with the Thompsons was tentative. Susan hugged her tightly. "We were wrong." Mark apologized stiffly, admitting therapy for his biases. Adeline accepted warily. Forgiveness wasn't instant. Inside she weighed. Can trust rebuild on ruins? Riley's presence healed wounds. They moved in together post-high school, a small apartment in Seattle symbolizing fresh starts. "We made it," Riley said, kissing her forehead. But scars remained. Adeline's caution in love, fear of betrayal. Jamal visited, bonds forming slowly. "Proud of you," he said over coffee. Adeline smiled but questioned. Pride in what, survival or choices? The scandal faded but lessons lingered. Adeline advocated for adoptee rights, speaking at events. Honesty over image, she preached. Public response mixed. Praise from marginalized communities, backlash from traditionalists. Her mind often wandered to the costs. Lost innocence, strained ties. Was it all necessary? Years passed. Adeline graduated college, Riley by her side. Jamal thrived, a constant presence. The Thompsons evolved, attending pride events awkwardly. Adeline reflected on the journey. Pain forged strength, but at what price? In quiet moments she pondered the ethics that defined her. Choices, betrayals, awakenings, all intertwined. The nation moved on, but her story sparked change. Reforms in adoption transparency, discussions on intersectional identities. Yet doubts persisted. Did she do right? As Adeline looked back, one question haunted. Was stealing to save a life morally justifiable? Or does it always corrupt the soul?